this.
Welcome back, TPR Nation. This is your co-host, Micah Shalansky. And today on this mini pod, we want to talk a little bit about clients and helping give clients a good answer, a good explanation when they have some uncertainty that we can't quantify, right? For example, what if they say, well, what if XYZ happens? What if the market drops? What if I need more money? What if a life event happens? What if all these things take place in my life? What am I going to do now that I'm retired and I'm living on a fixed income? And sometimes we're going to get these and we got to understand, just like we talked about in some other pods, sometimes there's two different types of questions, right? I mean, sometimes it's a financial question, which is a pure math question. What's my RMD going to be at 72? That's just math, right? Versus do I have enough money to retire on? Now, you may think that's a math question, but that also is an emotional question as well. So the first thing is we got to understand where a client is asking a question from. Is it a pure dollars and cents question? Most of the time it's not. Or is it a little bit more of a mental, more of an emotional question? So sometimes we'll get often things will come up. If everything continues in the economy and it collapses, what's going to happen to my retirement? If blah, blah, blah happens, what's going to happen to my retirement, right? Whatever that apocalypse du jour is. Now, we've had some good experience recently dealing this, not only during a presidential election year, always a great opportunity to find out these answers. Also the COVID, right? All of these other things give us an opportunity to talk about it. But what do you say to clients when it comes up? Let me show you what we say when we're talking with them. Number one, we got to understand where they're coming from, right? Understand what their real question is. And then also what we need to redirect it to is what we can answer, not theoretical information. I don't want to go down the what if scenario of all these million bad things happen. Now all of a sudden, what's going to happen? We need to step that conversation back to what is our plan to make decisions. Now, I'll tell clients, look, we don't know everything that's going to happen. That's the reason in your plan, we want to create as much flexibility as possible. This is also a good reason that we use our bucket strategy when we're talking about distributing retirement income. We have 3 to 5 years of distribution needs set aside between cash, bonds, fixed income, etc. And one of the big reasons we have that is to prepare for that unknown. Jarvis likes to call it his war chest. He has a war chest that what if the market drops? What if XYZ happens? What if these things come up? What's going to happen to my retirement? So when you're working with clients, make sure you're bringing this up. Even clients I work with for years sometimes forget we have these buckets of money set up, and it's a great thing to review with them. So if a client comes in and says, Mike, I'm worried about A, B, and C, I'm going to try to understand a little bit more about what they're talking about. Then I'm going to talk about how we're going to deal with that. Not a what if scenario. What's our plan today? It says, well, if the market dropped, if the economy collapsed, if A, B, C happened, this is what we're going to have in place. Remember, we have a cash bucket with 2 years of your distributions. That means it's a cash bucket with $50,000 sitting in cash. We also have bonds with $150,000 sitting in cash or sitting in bonds and fixed income. Between those two, that's $200,000 of funds that are sitting there. Mr. and Mrs. Client, do you think with $200,000 sitting on the sidelines available for you if something came up, we could weather an economic storm? We could weather A, B, and C? Yes or no? Let it be their decision that's there. You know what, Micah? I think with $200,000, I think that would be enough money to get through it. Okay, great. Well, then good news is we already have that planned. What if they come back and say, no, I don't think that's enough money? Okay, good. Well, thank you for telling me. What do you think enough money would be? This is not a time to get in an argument with a client about, no, you have enough money because the Monte Carlo analysis or the statistical report or this projection I've ran says you do. What do they think it is? Sometimes I have clients come back and says, Micah, I'd feel comfortable with like $210,000, $220,000. Okay, great. We're happy to make that happen for you. And we can slightly increase that fixed income portion in their account, right? Again, our job is about the emotional side is not just helping the client achieve their long-term goals, but helping them stay on track and addressing those concerns they have can keep them invested, can keep them committed to the long term, which as we know is going to help out in the end so they have a really successful retirement. So if you like these mini pods, that is awesome. I want to hear about it. Jump in the reviews, give us 5 stars, vote early, vote often, really important in that rating. Hit us up on Twitter and social. We'd love to hear from you about what do you say to clients? How do you interact with them? We're always learning and always growing. And until next time, happy planning.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife. The perfect RIA